how to achieve efficient working capital management during CIRP. I'm sure all of you, in any case, would be aware whether it is a profit making company or a company which has gone for NCLT. It doesn't really matter. Working capital management is extremely crucial for any company, more so for a company which has gone for the CIRP to NCLT. And the insolvency resolution professional in this case uh, ought to have a good understanding of the basic principle of efficient working capital management. And remember why it is important for the insolvency professional to have a good understanding of the working capital management, because it is his job to create a culture of efficient working capital management in the entire organization. People from the manufacturing, people from the procurement, people from the marketing, people from the other functions may not understand as to may or may not understand as to why it is crucial to keep low inventory, may or may not understand why it is crucial to keep loans and to keep the receivables as low as possible, may or may not be able to understand as to why it is necessary that the bank balance should be kept at bare minimum only to ensure that the operation day-to-day operations run smoothly. Insolvency professional, if he has this understanding, then he would be able to guide, educate everyone in the organization as to why working capital management is crucial and critical for the survival and revival of the organization. Again, if I was to be in a live session with you, I would have uh, uh, discussed this case with every one of you with your responses. Uh, but now that we are into virtual mode, we have to manage in any case. So I'm just going to show this case. I'm just going to discuss this case with you, case study with you, and I'm sure as we go, you will also be able to figure out as to why it is and why it is, what it is and why it is. So this is a case study on a well managed company. How to evaluate efficiency in management of working capital of a well managed company using the current ratio. Using the current ratio. और हम सबको मालूम है, we all know how to calculate the current ratio. Is not a rocket science. We calculate the current ratio by dividing the current assets by the current liabilities. So when we divide the current asset, the figure of current assets, let's say 200, and figure of current liabilities, let's say 100, and what do we get? We get a current ratio which is 2. So this is how we calculate the current ratio. Now remember, this current ratio is a very good indicator as to how the company is managing its working capital. I am discussing this case in the context of a company which is profit making company, well managed company, a company which is paying everyone on time. The company pays employees on time, suppliers on time, government on time, all the stakeholders, a company pays on time. So this is how we calculate the current ratio. Now what is the case? The case is, this is a company called XYZ. Now this company's current ratio was 1.85 on 31st March 22, है ना. ये कंपनी का जो करंट रेशो है वो 31 मार्च 22 को 1.85 था, और ये करंट रेशो 31 मार्च 23 को घट के 1.6 रह गया, एंड ऑन 31st मार्च 24 ये करंट रेशो घट के 1.2 रह गया. So I want to ask this question to every one of you, and I would like all of you should unmute yourself to give the answer. तो ये जो कंपनी है जो आपके सामने है, इस कंपनी का करंट रेशियो 1.8 से घट के 1.2 पे रह गया है 2 सालों में। क्या लगता है आपको, इज इट अ गुड साइन और इज इट अ बैड साइन? How this company is doing, is it a good sign for the company or is it a bad sign of the company? Anyone can answer. Okay, so let me tell you, friend, this is a very good sign. Typically, when I discuss this case with in my live sessions, most people would react initially saying that this is a bad sign. But this is not a bad sign, this is a very good sign. Why this is a very good sign? Because and that is what we are supposed to be doing in business. तो वो प्रॉफिट मेकिंग बिजनेस हो या नॉन प्रॉफिट मेकिंग बिजनेस हो, एनसीएलटी में गई कंपनी का बिजनेस हो या एनसीएलटी के बाहर की कंपनी का बिजनेस हो, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. वी हैव टू वर्क इन अ वे दैट आवर करंट रेशियो मस्ट बी डिमिनिशिंग, डिक्रीजिंग. So if the current ratio is decreasing, remember it is not a bad sign, it is a good sign. And why it is a good sign? It is a good sign. इसका मतलब क्या है कि कंपनी की इन्वेंट्री कम हो रही है. इसका मतलब क्या है, कंपनी के रिसीवेबल्स कम हो रहे हैं. इसका मतलब क्या है, कंपनी के लोन्स एंड एडवांसेस कम हो रहे हैं. इसका मतलब क्या है, कंपनी का बैंक बैलेंस कम हो रहा है. और अगर ये चारों चीज़ें कम हो रही हैं, इसका मतलब क्या है, इसका मतलब ये है कि कंपनी अपने पैसे को वर्किंग कैपिटल में फंसा के नहीं रख रही है. और अगर कंपनी अपने पैसे को वर्किंग कैपिटल में फंसा के नहीं रख रही है, गुड साइन और बैड साइन? ऑब्वियसली इट इज़ अ गुड साइन. So this is another thing that we as insolvency professional need to focus on the current ratio. कि भाई मेरी कंपनी का करंट रेशियो घटना चाहिए, बढ़ना नहीं चाहिए. अगर मेरी कंपनी का करंट रेशियो बढ़ रहा है और मैं मेरी कंपनी को प्रॉफिटेबली चला रहा हूँ, इसका मतलब इट इज़ हैपनिंग बाय चॉइस बाय डिज़ाइन. सो व्हेन द करंट रेशियो इज डिमिनिशिंग बाय चॉइस बाय डिज़ाइन, इट इज़ अ गुड साइन. But when the current ratio is decreasing because of the bad management, company is making losses. Company does not have money. Company does not have money to buy the material. That's why material is less. Company is not producing, not selling. That is why receivables are less. Company को सेल नहीं करती है, पैसा नहीं आता है. That is why bank balance is less. So in that case, your current ratio is going to be low, but that is not a good sign. That is a bad sign. But a company which is making profit or company which is managing its operations efficiently, keeping inventory low, keeping receivables low by design, keeping bank balance low by design, keeping the loans and advances low by design, that is a good sign. So that is what we need to remember as a principle, that my focus must be, as an insolvency professional, my focus must be to bring my current ratio down as much as I can. Right, any question, any point from anyone?